was. That is fucking terrible, because Arcane Studios is one of my favorite studios. I wanted them to succeed. I wanted Redfall to be amazing. I wanted it to be amazing. I wanted it to be great. You know? Because why not, you know? Why can't it be amazing, right? Just because it's on Xbox doesn't mean it shouldn't be amazing. And it wasn't. It wasn't. It was a broken mess. It was a freaking broken mess. And you know who paid for that broken mess? You know who paid for the broken mess? The people who's going to spend money on it. Those are the people that paid for the broken mess of it. It's terrible, man. That's freaking awful. Like, that's just like, and my second reaction is content creators. You know those guys that got flown in to play a few hours of Redfall? Know those guys? You remember those guys? They did a bunch of content videos. Like, they did a bunch of videos on Redfall, and they was talking about, like, how they got to play the early access version of it. That wasn't the early action. Like, it was... That wasn't the game. You were playing a controlled version of the game. You weren't playing the actual game. And you knew you weren't. Like, they can't say that they knew. Like, they can't say they didn't know that they weren't playing, like, a controlled version of the game. They can't say that. They can't say, oh, well, we didn't know we were playing a controlled version of the game. So that way, we could go back and tell everybody they should buy it. We didn't know we were being used like that. You didn't know you were being used like that? You didn't know that you were being absolute suckers? You did. You did know. You knew it was an early. And Mr. Matty, as much as he was, salutations, everybody. I just had a great time with Redfall. Oh, it's great. It's Bethesda, you know. But I had some concerns because, you know, Bethesda lied to me over Fallout 76. So I wanted to voice my concerns about the somewhat slow and dead dead enemy AI. I was a little concerned about that, but they promised they'd fix it before launch. You know, and you know, I'm not going to get fooled twice, but I did have a great time with it, and I think you will too. Like, you know, Mr. Matty, I take him with a grain of salt. That kid, he just goes feet first into anything Bethesda, right? Like, yeah, he just go feet first into anything Bethesda, and it was like, wow, you know, I did have some concerns. You all was playing a controlled build of the game. That was not what people were getting, and part of you must have known that you were being used. You were being freaking used. And that tears me up to no end. These content creators will sit there and they'll take the trickled information that they're giving, and they should have known that the review embargo was only lifted just maybe 1 or 2 hours before the game actually launched, and they had complete confidence in that. You all are not that stupid. You misled your viewers. Like, I get sick and tired of people misleading their viewers. Again, I'm a huge Arcane Studios fan. I Dishonored, Prey, loved it. Loved all of it. I didn't play Deathloop. I kind of wanted to, but I could see from the raw footage that that was not a game for me. And it seems like they took all the issues from Deathloop and they poured it into Redfall, and it only got exacerbated, right? Yeah, so there was like really like and maybe you could say that maybe this is Xbox for you at its finest. Everything it touches turns to shit. Even Arcane Studios. They can't touch nothing without turning it to shit, right? Um, I don't know. It could have been a matter of when they became an Xbox exclusive, funding got pulled from other outlets, perhaps. Sony yanked their maybe Sony had some funding involved, and when Xbox bought Arcade, like they bought Bethesda, Sony's influence got cut off from the game to where they were just kind of left afloat under the umbrella of Xbox, free to do their thing, but they didn't have the support of Sony anymore. So I don't know. There's a lot of gray, smoky areas of all this we don't know about. But yeah, Redfall shit. And unlike the Star Wars game that came out, it's how can we say that Redfall is going to get patched into a better state? It's really bad. It's not just a little bad. It's really bad. It's the kind of bad that it will get abandoned. And that's terrible because it kind of looked like they had a good idea, but that idea just it's kind of like the Hollywood sign up there on fire. Yeah, you go up that hill to the Hollywood sign. That's where good ideas go to burn out, right? And then you have games like Dead Island 2, they come out. They're perfectly fine. They're not perfect. This game's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a polished experience. Needs a little tweaking, needs a little refining, but it's a polished experience. And they're not here to nickel and dime you to death through transactions. You know, it's not pay to win. So, yeah, yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing what a game studio like Dam Buster can do when have they have all the right fixings to do what they want to do, right? And you see the direct opposite with Redfall. A darling. Arcane was a darling in the gaming world. And look how far they have fallen. Xbox can say what they want about they didn't do any like they didn't bother bother Arcane Studios did really because according to that one interview they basically barged in and said whatever you're doing for PlayStation you're going to stop right now, just focus on PC and Xbox, fuck PlayStation, right? Okay. Well, for what it's worth, maybe Xbox did us all a favor. But as far as that always online thing, that's absolutely an Xbox thing. The fact that Redfall was always online, that was a huge red flag. This tells me that I feel like Xbox had more influence over the game's development in the latter stages than they want to admit. First of all, it's always online. Xbox is notorious for wanting you to be online all the time, right? So, yeah, there's that. And there's no telling, like, the fact that if Redfall was allowed to have been a single player offline experience, it probably would have been a lot more stable. But I guarantee you, Xbox made it a thing. They made it a thing that Redfall needed to be online all the time. And just like I've my experience with games that are online all the time, they're just it's just nothing but problems. Yeah, and I think I do feel like Xbox is behind that. They wanted that game online all the time. You can't play it offline. And that only exacerbated the myriad of issues that was going to befall that game. Hmm. Oh, well, we want to make sure that all our studios have free reign to do what they want, as long as you do it the way Xbox wants, right? Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's probably my nastiest hot take ever. But yeah, yeah. Redfall. Oh, rest in peace. You could have been something really fun, but then Xbox bought you, so. It's like, oh, Arcane, my heart hurts for you tonight. I am so sorry, my honeys. I am so sorry. But look on the bright side. There's always Starfield, am I right?